Yo, so everybody, welcome back. No recap, man. Flag on the play. Getting to almost at episode 20, bro. Episode 18, bro. How everybody feeling though, bro?
It's
Chilling.
so funny you got a
Chilling.
Tua mobile clip in that intro, and I ain't never seen Tua be mobile in his life.
That's crazy. That's crazy. My nigga Steven done pulled up, bro. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. Appreciate you having me on, man.
My nigga Darth Vader back, bro.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
look at Josh in the building. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Been a while since I've been on here, man.
Mind y'all, hey, this is a daily reminder. Bro is 17, talking like he.
Bro, you got the smooth
Bro,
voice I heard in a long time, bro.
And a Patriots fan.
Hey, don't even
Yo,
start.
my dog
Don't
Young
even
back, PSP is
Yo.
back, Donnie back, Charles, of course, my big-headed brother back, of course. And, you know, the oldest one in the building, my boy Champ in the building, bro. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. 48 degrees down here in Georgia. It's cold as hell.
You
Please.
48.
Stop.
Wah.
Man, that shit ain't cold.
Hey, I'm from Georgia. I don't like the cold.
Bro, it's 32.
That's why I told you don't go to Jersey.
I got
Don't go to Jersey.
Oh, he's complaining about 40 degrees. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
complaining about 40 degrees. I'm not
we
trying
can-
to walk outside. Shit,
we
and
can
it was
get
raining
started.
out here today.
we can get this started. And I'll probably start with you, Champ. Giants parted way with my pops, and they parted way with Bobby Johnson, and they Malik Martindale with Louisiana. I don't know how that shit going over there, but because I don't know what the fuck going on between them two. But I'm gonna start with you, Champ. What do you think is the biggest issues that the Giants need to address?
Biggest issue is quarterback at this point sometimes because I believe that they need a quarterback. They kind of overvalued Daniel Jones.
Kinda.
And as I always say, me and you, PSP, the quarterback can't throw where? On his back.
Yeah, you say that all the time.
You need some offensive line help. You need some quarterback help. You got a good thing going on with Sexy Dexy. You got a good thing going on with him. Hey, I wish we could have stolen from you. And brought him down there with Grady Jarrett. But that's the main issue that you need to address. The Giants need to address the offensive line, and they need to look into possibly drafting a quarterback. I think they overvalued Daniel Jones just because he was part of the Manning camp. So.
All right, Young. What you think is the biggest issue?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much hit it on the head. It's y'all overperform year one, and it kind of screwed everything up. I told y'all that from the beginning. Y'all weren't that good of a team year one, but y'all played well, so the expectations went through the roof. And when you underperform like this, the only way you can kind of save face is blaming somebody else, even though, you didn't have Daniel Jones, obviously, but he wasn't
good to begin with.
He wouldn't have, yeah, and that was really the issue. So Dayball kind of just really scapegoated people to kind of save his butt. But I mean, that's what happens. That's the business. It's dog eat dog world. He's not about to go down with some of the things, so he just blames it on somebody else and keep it moving. So, but I mean, undisputed hit it on the head. Quarterback issue, O-line issue. I think y'all need a different kind of weapon. Y'all have a lot of the same kind of offensive receivers. And really that's it, in my opinion. But again, y'all weren't as good as what y'all were last year, sadly, and it kind of ruined the expectations.
Steven? You meet again. You meet it.
My fault. Kind of the same thing. I think they overvalued the heck out of Daniel Jones. I thought they should have either taken a quarterback last year or paid someone that was in the free agent market, but I think the quarterback just needs to be addressed. Daniel Jones should have never even gotten the money he got. And O-line too also. I mean, the Giants have been having O-line issues since I was born, so I don't know if they're ever going to fix that up, to be honest. I'm going to keep it being.
That's crazy.
Donnie?
I mean, yeah, I guess we're just going to keep repeating each other. I mean, just quarterback, Daniel Jones. I mean, I agree. He shouldn't have been paid the way he was. And it's not like he got a Geno Smith contract, a contract that's relatively easy-ish to move off of. Like Geno's contract, you can move off it pretty easy. Daniel Jones, unless you want a big cap hit, you're kind of stuck with him for at least another season, which is unfortunate. But I think the good news for the Giants, I'll shed some positives real quick. I think this is the perfect draft for the New York Giants. The perfect draft. I mean, you're looking at a loaded receiver draft and you're looking at a loaded tackle draft. So a guy you want is going to be there at 6 because, unfortunately, I just don't think they can get a quarterback at that range because I think the big three that NFL likes are going to be gone. So hopefully you can get a Malik Neighbors, a Brock Bowers, or maybe go Alt or Alou. But like, they just need help on that O-line, man. And outside of Thomas, who I'd argue is a top 3 left tackle in the game, they don't got much going on, man. Evan Neal hasn't been looking the best. Hopefully he can have a nice transition to guard if they decide to do that, which I think could be massive for him. You can draft maybe Joe Alt, and you could have one of the best tackle duos of the whole league in a few years. It's like, could do something like that. But, yeah, I mean, they overperformed, man, and I think it's really costing them.
Josh?
Yeah, really, just the offensive situation as a whole is just bad. Like, obviously, Daniel Jones is not very good, and I believe they have an out in his contract after the season. And then the right side of the offensive line is terrible. Evan Neal sucks. The guard situation is like, eh. And then center John Michael Schmitz is pretty good. I think he's going to be pretty good because I like him at Minnesota. And then, like, just, yeah, like the offensive situation is not that good as a whole. So they just got to fix that. And this draft's one of the most talented offensive drafts we've seen in recent years. So obviously they got to fix that.
Trey?
I'm not going to address the stuff with Pops. That is what it is. To Young's point, yeah, you ain't gonna fire yourself, because that's really what this boils down to. There's a few like glaring holes here, but you were right. They overperform. I said I literally walked in my office. Ooh, Josh is like. Yeah, Josh just went crazy. I don't know.
You got an air mattress or something?
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
You got an air mattress?
Yeah, it's like a balloon like deflating.
Yo, word. All right, go ahead.
But yeah, I remember when they were going on that playoff. They were going on that little playoff run. I would walk into my office every week. They're like, "Hey, Giants are winning these games. Hey, this is 4 in a row. It's 5 in a row." And I was like, "Them niggas suck." Like, I don't care. I don't care how many wins they get in a row. I know what I'm looking at. They suck. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, you can't fool me. And then this year happens, and we see them niggas suck. Like, the real problem is you have a quarterback that you paid that you shouldn't have paid, an offense that's built around a player, Saquon Barkley, that you don't want to pay for whatever reason. Then you, to Donnie's point about, hey, this is the perfect draft. Well, you know what? They said that a couple of years ago when they drafted Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. Kayvon had a decent year this year with 11.5 sacks, but if you dig deeper into the film, into some of the advanced analytics, he's still not better than Travon Walker. He's still not better than Aiden Hutchinson. So, did that really work out that well? And we all know Evan Neal's a terrorist. So
that's not, but it's not that crazy.
What are we talking about here? This is a dumpster fire of the highest proportion.
PSP.
I think with the Giants, I was actually at that game against the Eagles.
Yeah, I didn't even know you was at the game. We could have linked, bro. I was literally like, I didn't even know that. Bro.
Let's just say I have connections. I got connections.
All right, Godfather Harlem.
Right.
But the bottom line, the biggest issue is Daniel Jones.
There's Tommy DeVito's agent.
But again, I blame the Giants. That's what happens when they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Yep.
Had they picked up his 5th-year option, this wouldn't even been a conversation. So now with the Giants, everyone hitting on the nail. They got to address offensive linemen. I think that's something that they need to address. Definitely weapons. It can't just be Saquon. Even though Saquon is still great and dynamic, he's about to be 27 come February. So you want to make sure you get enough weapons for him as he maximizes. How many good prime years do you see in Saquon left, Trent? 4 or 5 years?
Ooh, depends. If
I don't know if he's a Giant, though.
We're going to 3 probably.
Yeah. So at the maximum, at least 3. But again, they got to address the quarterback situation. I mean, the fact that Tommy DeVito, or as they call him, Tommy Cutlets, is looking better, and as well as Tyrod Taylor looking like the second coming of Mike Vick. I mean, the Giants, they got a lot of work to do. Brian Daboll's in a tough situation. The fact that he overachieved with Daniel Jones, that should tell you something. So hopefully they can address it in the draft and maybe in free agency. Hope. But don't worry, Trent, you're not the only one.
Nah,
Washington's struggling
cool.
too. So
because it's cool because now we about to go into another topic. I'm about to go on a fucking rant because there's a mean double standard that's going around. So I don't understand that. Why the hell would you keep Justin Fields? Why the hell would you build around him? I don't. This is what I don't understand. Not saying y'all, just the general people in the world. I seen y'all slander Daniel Jones for the umpteenth time for whatever. He came out in the playoff game, threw for 300 yards, had 2 TDs, almost ran for 100 yards. Y'all still said move on from him. And mind you, that game alone is better than Justin Fields' whole career. And then now we're trying to say, oh, let's build around Justin Fields and let's give him more weapons. For what? Because he played 6 weeks of solid football? You're a fucking quarterback. You're supposed to play good. You're supposed to play at least solid. You have DJ Ford. You have Darnell Mooney. You have Cole Kmet. You actually have pieces on the offense, so you don't. It's not like you have nobody. At least when Daniel Jones made us in the playoffs, we had Richie James, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, who we picked up from the practice squad, and we had Saquon. And then he still got slender left and right. But for some reason, now we got to build around Justin Fields. And because we've seen what? What have we seen from? Ain't shit popped up from the screen. No, you ain't seen none from Ohio State. What have you seen for Justin Fields to where you say, oh, we're going to keep around and build around him? He's been terrible. But when it's for Daniel Jones, it's just like, oh, he can play like Jesus Christ himself. Came to the murder. It makes no sense, bro. But go ahead, take it. It makes no sense.
I'll tell you why in the most simple way for just Bears fans and Giants fans. Giants fans are coming off a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Eli Manning, who's actually thrown for 4,000 passing yards. The Bears are scared because they just see an ounce of potential in a guy that could actually maybe one day for a different team get past 4,000 yards. And they're scared that the one guy that is above average for their franchise could end up biting them if he goes to Atlanta and starts cooking.
Do they
That's
not
why
understand
people are
how
scared.
good Caleb is?
But here's my
That's my
issue.
question. Do Bears fans not understood? I'm sorry for not just real quick. Do Bears fans not understand how good Caleb Williams is? Like, I don't think they fully get that.
Okay,
Caleb Williams could be a top 5 quarterback, dude.
Real quick, Trey, before you go. This is the last thing I'll say, Trey, before I go. My thing is that when we talk about, for example, J-Rob says it all the time with Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't really do anything really to pop off my screen. What has Justin Fields done to be like, oh, damn, might be a god? I've at least seen Daniel Jones ball out in the playoff game, and our best player had 9 carries, so he done had to do some work. He was dying shit up. Justin Fields has been playing like a bot for the past 3 years, and he has a 6-week span of playing solid football. Oh, maybe we can build around him. Oh, we don't want Caleb Williams. For what? It's the number 1 pick. He's literally supposed to be one of the best prospects to ever come out. Okay. This is why I say it'd be a mean double standard because it doesn't make sense. How can you crap on Daniel Jones even after him winning the playoff game? Oh, get rid of him. He's shown you nothing to get this and that. And then you want to build around somebody who's shown more terrible than playing actual solid. How does that work?
Okay.
How does that work?
Hold on. Wait. I just need to say something. One, to Donnie's point, no, they don't know how good Caleb is because if you haven't noticed, pretty much since like week 3 of the college football season, there's been a vested interest in peppering Caleb Williams' like perception. It's, oh, well, he's still a project. Oh, well, he might have some quitter in him. Oh, he paints his nails. He's funny. Oh, then there's the random rumor that pops up on Twitter about his family saying, hey, whatever team that drafts him, we want partial ownership. Like,
he cries.
Funky situation that his father alluded to.
He cries and then he doesn't care about football. That's what they say.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Don't start me on that because also the same people that are on Twitter knocking Caleb Williams are the same people who were Justin Herbert stans who also cried after losing a very tough game in college on national TV. But, oh, he just loves the game so much. But that's neither here nor there. So, yes, people in Chicago, they really don't know because there's been a vested interest in people trying to basically poke holes in what is, for all intents and purposes, a generational talent, a real one. Like we're seeing a slightly smaller version of Patrick Mahomes. That is literally what he is. He's Patrick Mahomes with a little more juice as a runner.
Or
Like-
taller Kyler Murray. Like both those
No.
guys. Like,
No. He's got much more pat than Kyler, but I can see what you're saying. But my point in all of that is this: they still need to move on from Justin Fields. Like to Trent's point, like yeah, I disagree with him saying he hasn't seen anything that's popped off the screen. I've seen enough to where if I don't have him out there with freaking Velus Jones and Brad and all these other bums that he's been playing with up until this year, I can work with that. But
Trey,
I need him. I need him. Hold on, wait. I need him out of here because at this point, this is a bad situation. He ain't finna get no better in this situation. I need to restart this clock.
Okay, so Trey, you know why I don't want to hear that from you? Because even when even when Daniel Jones balled out and looked like a totally different quarterback in the playoffs, you still said that nigga sucked. So what have you seen from Justin Fields to be like, oh, we can build around this dude? What? What can you build around? What? Dead ass. What?
To be honest with you, can I interject on this?
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
I have to be honest with you. The Giants, the real reason why, and this is what I've been seeing. I don't have the expertise in game like y'all do.
Yeah.
But from what I have seen over the years, the Giants have been better at developing quarterbacks than the Chicago Bears ever was.
1,000%.
And I can understand.
Bears have never had a 4,000 yard pass.
Yes, not only that, they have not. Not only that, people don't realize
They ruined
they have not
quarterbacks.
had a solid quarterback for over a 4-year span.
They ruined quarterbacks.
I mean, and that's why people see potential in Justin Fields more so than Daniel Jones. Hey, when you go to even the worst, hey, remember you won a Super Bowl with Jeff Hostetler. Just remember that. And this is no knock at Jeff Hostetler. He became a Pro Bowler when he went to Oakland before that incident with Art Shell happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, and before Tom Marinovich came in, which was a mistake in its own. But
that boy brought up an OG bus name.
So the New York Giants, they have always been known for having at least decent quarterback development. I mean, you can go all the way back. You could go all the way back to Phil Simms, to Sam Huff, to anybody. They've always had at least decent quarterbacks in their room. But in Chicago, you go there. Hey, when your best quarterback has only thrown for 3,000 yards, and I don't think no quarterback has ever thrown for over 23 touchdowns up there.
The best quarterback they've ever had in their franchise history.
The reason why I say it's a double standard is just that because champ, this is why I say that. I literally sat before the show and watched like a whole all 22. I literally sat and watched all Justin Fields all 22 from this season.
Yeah.
Not moved, not one bit. It's literally the first half. The
same issues.
The first half of the season, he looked like how he did last year, and then literally in the second half, the play picked up, but it's not anywhere close to be like, oh, with the number one pick, let's get Marvin Harrison Jr. instead of getting Caleb Williams. Like that would be the dumbest mistake.
Both teams need a line. Both the Giants and the Bears need a line.
And the thing is with the Bears online, especially this year, the Bears online hasn't been that bad. You know what? Let me get up. This is what Justin Fields do when he backed in the pocket. This is why the online big looks so bad. He dropped back. Just straight hold it.
College.
Just straight hold it. He hold on to the ball like he married to the shit. Like he literally he doesn't he holds the ball for so long. That's why they get like 100+ sacks a year.
And then go blame the OC.
Like that's what I'm saying though. Like
the biggest thing with Justin, and for any Bears fans that could be watching and are like caping for Justin, I just ask, go to any top 10 list, doesn't matter the order, for a quarterback, and tell me a quarterback that had 3 years of starting and then didn't show this top 10 capability. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's you get exceptions to the rule, but like most guys show high-end production and talent by at least year 2 or 3. and we're 3 years into this, and it's just dead in the water.
JJ, you might not be talking about me. There's no way you're talking about me with Justin Fields. I was labeled as the biggest Justin Fields hater probably in the community. So you might not be. You can't be talking to me, bro. But yeah, you're defending.
I'm not
what I told
defending
you about
Luke
Justin
Getsy.
Fields?
What'd you say, PSP?
Remember what I told you about Justin Fields? Remember you came on my podcast? Remember I told you confidence level? Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
That's how he is when he's in that pocket.
Damn, that's crazy.
He hesitates. I mean, just think of the Buccaneers game.
But speaking of the number 1 overall pick, all the stuff about Caleb Williams is ridiculous. It has more to do with Lincoln Riley. I've said it before. Y'all know me. Oh, you dude. He did not want to deal with that SEC smoke. Okay? So he did not want to deal with the SEC. He did not want to deal with the expectations. He did not want to go there. So let me go to the Pac-12. Let me try to do something there. And it's only going to get even worse for him because he's heading to the Big Ten. He's going to have to deal with Michigan. He's going to have to deal with other teams in the Big Ten. And sadly, for Caleb's look, all this talk about the fingernails and stuff like that, bottom line is, who is he often compared to? Patrick Mahomes. So if you feel like, Chicago, you better take a quarterback in this one because this is going to be your second consecutive time you've had the number 1 overall pick. Second consecutive time you've had the number 1 overall pick. You want to trade this one? And if Caleb Williams goes elsewhere, and if he succeeds, then Chicago, you're going to look at yourself and say, what the hell are we doing? As for Justin Fields, I think he needs to be traded. Go elsewhere. Which team could actually take him? Champ and I, we've had the discussion. I don't think he would mind him going to Atlanta, although he would want Russell Wilson, but I don't understand Russell Wilson in the ATL dealing with Sierra and Future. I don't know about that, but that's a story here, no there.
Hey, I just want to ask you before we move on, because I need my boy Champ going this rant. So before we move on, does anybody think that they should not trade Justin Fields?
No.
Josh, you trolling?
Hey, I'm trolling as a Pats fan because I need Drake May on my team. So
This is what I just want to say this real quick before you move on. Chicago, you passed on a superstar franchise quarterback once. I don't want you to do it again for your sake. Because I guarantee you, Ryan Poles, if he was asked this second, would you take back that trade? Take it back and make sure you get CJ Stroud, knowing how good he could be. I guarantee he would do it. I guarantee.
I'm gonna be honest. If you were to ask, here's the thing: before anything from Stroud, if you could have told him, "Hey, next year, if you trade this pick, you're getting Caleb Williams." He's doing that deal 100 times out of 100 times. Caleb Williams, before y'all saw what we saw of CJ Stroud, there was.
Oh, that boy cutting out.
Cleared him as a prospect. That's the best way to put it.
You did.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but
you cut out.
Yeah, you cut out crazy. Yeah, you can say that again.
I think if you go back in time before the draft and you were to say, "Hey, Ryan Poles, if you trade this pick, you get DJ Moore and Caleb Williams," he's not thinking nothing of it. I don't think anybody would say, "Oh yeah, no, I'll just take CJ Stroud." No, you get DJ Moore and they get another pick. I think next year after this, like you have to do that trade 100 times out of 100 times. Now, obviously, you pass up on CJ Stroud, which sucks, but again, that was still the right move. And I think the reason he made that move was for this draft. If he could get CJ Stroud, nobody thought the Bears would be this good. I'm going to be honest. He thought, okay, if I don't get number 1, I have the ammo to move up to go get the quarterback that I need. That was the whole point of the deal.
Mm-hmm. All right. So moving on, speaking because you know how Black Monday get, all these coaches getting fired. So it's crazy because he got fired right at 12 a.m. on the dot. So Arthur Smith got booted out quick and fast. Actually, before we talk about Arthur Smith, I'm gonna start with you, Champ. Is Jameis Winston in the wrong for what he did?
Hell no, that's a rivalry game, and I'm a Falcons fan, bro. Hey, if you want to get your guy a touchdown, go out there and get him, and it's a rivalry game. I stick it to him every chance I got. I'm already up by, and it has no bearing on the game anyway. It has no bearing on the game, and if you notice, the only person that was mad about it, the only person that didn't no fight break out, didn't then happen. The only person that was mad about it on that team was Arthur Smith. that should tell you everything you need to know.
Maybe
But
he, knew maybe he knew he was getting fired, and that's why he got mad.
I mean, what you get mad for? I mean, it's kind of like being a kid, bro. I'm gonna just give you an analogy. If you know you getting fired, what you getting mad at this dude for? It's kind of like you getting a fight in school. It's kind of like this dude want to fight you in school, and you already know you finna get a whooping when you go home. Go ahead and fight him. It doesn't make a difference with what's gonna go on. So I mean, what do you got to lose? What you getting mad because? Oh yeah, that was bull jive. For what? You already on your way out the door. They got your bag. They had your bags packed before you even got off the plane. So,
hey, you think? Did you see the Jameis Winston situation, Steven?
Oh, I saw it. I have no issue with it, to be honest. I mean, it's a rivalry game, like Champ said. Like, I don't really see an issue. I think maybe from a player point of view, like you're just like beating a dead horse, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already down by like 30, there's no point of like keep scoring. But like, I don't got an issue with Jameis. I ain't gonna lie. He a savage for what he did. I don't got
Tegan.
Hey, man, I'm all for toxicity. Like,
yeah, we know you.
Hey, go. Hey, go for 2. Run it up. I don't care, bro.
Was anybody got an issue with Jameis there, bro? Before we get to our discussion.
Okay,
no, man.
Wait, I got something to say. Cause
go ahead, bro.
No, I don't have an issue. No, I don't have an issue with Jameis. But if I'm Saints ownership, Dennis Allen, you are fucking fired.
Oh yeah, it's over.
Okay, this is somebody brought this up on another podcast. I was listening to Bomani Jones's podcast, and he brought it up. But I was already thinking it after I saw the Jameis Winston interview. If I, as a head coach, say, get your ass on that 1 yard line and kneel this down, and the motherfucker that can override me and have everybody behind him is fucking Jameis Winston, guess what? If I'm the Bensons, the owners of the Saints, I'm walking down to that office. I'm like, hey, buddy, go ahead and pack your shit up and get the hell out of here. You ain't running nothing around. Jameis got more pull than you. Jameis.
That says a lot.
Boy, you don't get the hell up out of here. Like, no.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be departed. I'm reading a report right here. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported later Monday, Allen will be retained as the head coach.
Man, look, they don't know.
Yeah.
And not only that,
I'm not gonna lie.
That article you sent me yesterday, PSP, about John Gruden possibly joining the staff.
Yes, I sent you that. And I'm like, somebody get me a bottle of Hennessy or something, because when I heard that, I'm like, really? You gonna bring this dude giving everything?
To go back to the Falcons, Arthur Smith got fired. Everybody was preaching he wanted to get fired. So I'm gonna start with you, Champ. Now I'm just give y'all answers. Go down the list. You Champ, Teague, and me on the rest. So who should the Falcons get for their head coach?
Eric Bieniemy.
Tegan.
Hey, dream pick, best option available is Mike Vrabel.
Young.
Ben Johnson.
All right, Steven.
I agree with Tegan. I think it should be Mike, to be honest. I'm looking at me.
Donnie.
I'm gonna go with. I think there's 2 good answers. I think Bieniemy is a good one. I think another interesting one would be Mike McDonald from Baltimore.
Josh.
Staying on Baltimore, I think Todd Monken would be a good option for them.
Yeah, bring it back home to Georgia.
Yeah. Trey.
EB.
PSP.
I want to say EB because I feel like what Washington is doing to him is a huge disservice, but I can't see him being a head coach at any point soon.
That's crazy.
Oh wait, Trent. I have another.
I would like to say this. Y'all may find this crazy. Who's the DC from the 49ers? Steve Wilkes. I actually like what he did last year for the Panthers when he took over the team, but I'm afraid he won't get that head coaching job.
Shout out Cardinals legend Steve Wilkes.
Yep. Hey, hold on.
Shout out Steve Wilkes.
I was about to say, wait, shout out Coach Steve, but I forgot. You a Cardinals fan, and I'm sorry, Donnie, that you got to bear this cross, but y'all did my man dirty,
crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm not denying that. Absolutely.
Hey, Donnie, Steven, who's gonna say you?
I was gonna say if he leaves Michigan, I would say Jim Harbaugh. if he leaves
He's
Michigan
leaving.
this season.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
I don't
gone.
think
I'm not
they'll
gonna
put
lie.
that kind
He's
of money,
leaving.
bro.
He's gone. I'm not gonna lie.
Did I miss
I mean, if
something
he
with
is-
EB in Washington?
Can I say this just real quick? Actually, no. Here, Tegan, you
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Donnie.
I'm gonna say this out
Are
there.
they not considering EB in Washington? Did I miss a report?
They are.
They are,
Yeah.
but I mean, if Harbaugh says, "Hey, I want to come coach to the Commanders," they're gonna sign him over EB.
I think
No, they're
Harbaugh,
going to take
Harbaugh,
him
they're-
because they save up
Harbaugh's
$90
their
million
other
in
options.
cap space, so they're going to try to do what they can to get him. Thank the good Lord, we finally got rid of
Yeah.
Ron Rivera,
They
that
got new
old ass
ownership.
Brandon
Yeah.
Staley.
Y'all got new. I mean, the Chargers should go get him. That's where I would go number one, just
But
because
they
that's where the
cheap.
quarterback's at.
But we
Yeah,
know they
I mean-
cheap. They're not going to. How much money is the Spanos family? Remember, Sean Payton, he wanted 4 or 5
Harbaugh's
times
getting
more
100
money
million.
than what Brandon Staley was making. Brandon Staley was making, what, $4 million per year?
They gonna
Jim
Harbaugh's
Harbaugh
getting
wants
10
more than
million.
that.
He's
I
gonna want
can't-
$100 million. Like what John Gruden got, he's gonna want something similar to that.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you best
not a lot
believe
of money. If
Michigan.
you really want to be honest
Michigan,
with it, that's $10 million a year for a coach. I mean, that ain't bad for a high quality coach like that.
No, I'm saying that's the minimum what he wants.
Yeah,
That's gonna be what the minimum he gets.
Right.
All right. And it's time to move on. It's time to.
No, wait, real
It's
quick.
time
Can I
Tegan.
just say this real
Oh,
quick?
okay,
Can I say this real quick?
Go ahead.
I just want to point this out because I was talking to a friend of mine about it. Ben Johnson, besides Mike Vrabel, I think we can all probably agree he's the most teams' number one candidate, right? I mean, he could have been the number one last year, if not him or D'Amico. I'm looking at all the teams that need a coach. You got the Panthers, you got the Falcons, you got the Titans, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Commanders. Am I interested in any of these jobs, really? Like, I'm going to keep it real. Like, I think every single one of these jobs has such a... I mean, I'm not going to the Panthers. I'm sorry. That's just a mess.
Falcons.
Like,
Falcons is a beautiful
Falcons.
Falcons, maybe. Titans, I think... I mean...
I'm not going to the Titans. You
I'm
see
not-
that
I
division?
don't, I'm not a big
Falcons
fan of-
is the
Chargers-
quarterback and to retool the defense.
Chargers, maybe. It's just the problem with the Chargers is that they're in cap hell, dude, and they're so injury prone. The Raiders, I mean, I'm not going to the Raiders. I'm sorry. I don't trust Vegas. Like, I think the two best jobs on here are the Falcons and the Commanders. Because if I go to the Commanders, at least I'm getting Drake May or Caleb Williams. Like, at least I'm getting one of them. Like, if I'm
The
Ben
Titans
Johnson,
job's gonna be
if
real.
I'm Ben Johnson,
be
I
it.
would consider, if I'm Ben
Donnie,
Johnson,
that's going to be iffy for me. That's going to be iffy for me what Washington
just-
going to do with the number 2 pick, though.
They
I
better
mean,
go
like,
May. They better
if
go
you-
May.
if you
They
go
better.
there, here's the thing:
They
if
better.
he gets the job, though, he's going to pick what quarterback he wants, and that's
They will, but here's the thing. As Champ always says, quarterback can't throw it behind his back. And I understand Sam Howell is not the long-term solution at quarterback. And yes, he does hold on to the football too long. But I don't care what quarterback you have behind that O-line, you getting killed.
I ain't
And we
gonna
got to
lie.
address our O-line. Furthermore,
Mash.
remember, we traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young so that we can save up in cap space. I did not want to trade Montez. Chase, I didn't mind getting traded because of durability history. That was the only reason why I did not mind trading him. Montez, you look at what he's done Washington the first half, and you look at what he's done for Chicago the second half of the season. It was painful to see him let go. Washington's going to have to make a tough decision. I think they should draft Drake May, but
Oh,
they should. But here's the thing, though. How are you going to address all the other needs? I think, unfortunately for Washington, they're going to have to trade Jonathan Allen because after
Oh,
what he
I
said
agree.
in that press conference, in that game against the Giants, which I don't mind him, you're going to have to trade him, and you're going to have to get something in return if you Washington. Because,
Y'all
again,
have
you're trying
picks
to...
for Washington.
Huh?
Y'all got another second from the Sweat deal. Y'all got an extra third from that Chase Young deal. I don't know if it was conditional or anything. Like, you can go get, and y'all are picking second.
yeah.
so
So
you're
you have
talking-
you have the ammo to go get another guy.
and y'all what? I think somebody
And this
said
is
it's
a
90
very,
million in cap
very good
space.
tackle class. This is a very
Yeah,
good
this
tackle.
No,
is
this,
even
no, no,
deepest
no,
of the
no.
class
This is
of this
it's an excellent draft class. But here's my thing. I don't understand why the Commanders brought in Bob Myers. Like someone can help me
Oh, yeah, I saw
explain
that.
it
That
or
makes
try to
sense.
justify it for me.
Maybe like analytic based kind of thing. I don't truly
Yeah.
know because he knows nothing about football to my knowledge. But I know he was again being kind of ahead of the curve with the Splash Brothers and Steph. Just the analytics behind all that. Maybe that's just what he's in there for.
I want to
Other
bring
than
this
that,
up.
No
I want to
idea.
bring this up for people who questioning that. Hey, remember Jerry Krause? I know I'm going back too far. Remember, Jerry Krause was a baseball scout before he scouted. Before he was with the
Basketball.
Chicago Bulls. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think they brought in him. I think because you could rest assured that Magic knows him. But I think they brought him in more or less to see how to control the cap. Because remember, if you remember, hey, Golden State last couple of years have been in luxury tax hell. And, you can't go over the cap like that in the NFL unless you want to be penalized. Unless your name the New Orleans Saints, was they $80 million over the cap. I don't know how they got away with that, but that's another story for another day. But, I think he brought in Bob Myers in order to help with the salary cap and the salary situation. I don't think he really brought him in to scout players.
And there's nothing wrong with having smart people in the room.
Bob Myers, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying this. Yeah. I'm not saying he's not qualified. I just need someone to put it into perspective as to why. Now, if he can acquire that, if that's something that he could bring to the table, then as a Commanders fan, I'm fine with that. I just think there are other needs for Washington to address. And Sam Howell, I'm not going to say he's horrible. There were times he wasn't that bad this season. You look at some of the games against the Eagles, you look at the games against the Broncos, he's not that bad of a quarterback. Do I think he's a long-term solution? No. But again, Washington, you have the number 2 overall pick. If it's that close, I would lean towards drafting Drake May. But hopefully we can address it with the 2nd or the 3rd round picks and then with free agency. We could get a Daniel Hunter, as Champ was telling all about. Get a Daniel Hunter, get some type of pass rusher, get somebody like that who can help us out. So, but I'm just happy Ron Rivera's ass is gone. I've been saying all along, he got to go. Oh, he's the old version of Brandon Staley, man. Dude is terrible at clock management, and he can't motivate the team. And plus, you made it worse for EB. He admitted in a press conference players were a little too concerned about Eric Bieniemy's intensity. Like, bro, he just got the head OC job, and this is what you're trying to do to him. So I hope for Washington they turn it around, but we'll see.
All right, but yeah, let's move on because it's time. T, you know what time it is?
What's the time it is?
It's time to get negative. It's time to get negative. Nah, Donnie, turn your camera on. Where you going? Nah, it's time because this is what happens when you put players in conversations y'all don't belong in. Y'all try to elevate Trevor Lawrence and these convos he had no space to be in. Y'all try to say he was close to Josh Allen. Y'all try to say he was close to Justin Herbert. Y'all try to say he was close to all these guys. And now look what's going on.
And we're missing someone.
Because people are so infatuated with
we're missing someone in this group.
Yeah, we know G-Baby couldn't make it. We know he couldn't make it. But I just wanna ask you, start with you, Tegan. Is Trevor Lawrence a fraud?
I've been said he peaked in college. He peaked freshman year. We've seen more bad than good. We saw an 8-game stretch and also one good half of football from a playoff game because people tend to have a blind eye to the first half when he threw 4 picks.
4 picks?
Yep.
Look,
he's had. Sorry, Trey, I didn't interrupt. But here's the thing. I'm not gonna when you look at his film, there was red flags. People ignored him because they thought they could work on him over time. But he would throw balls that were suicide balls. Like he knew he could make every throw. He tried to make every throw. And then the RPO system stunted his growth. And then he had 1 year of Urban Meyer. 8 good games last year and was inconsistent this year.
Look, I'm gonna just say this because we were talking about Justin Fields earlier. Part of the reason why I personally still fought back against the people who were like, yeah, Justin Fields ain't shit. Sell him up the river, blah, 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 blah. The whole reason why I was like, if y'all are gonna give other folks a pass, then y'all need to wait a little bit on Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence is a prime example. I told people coming out of college, both of them were much closer to each other as prospects than people wanted to admit, because everyone kept bringing up during college, oh, look at the Indiana game. Look at the Indiana game. Look at the Indiana game. Guess what? He played bad for a half because they were running unsound blitzes that literally nobody else in college football or the NFL runs because it's crazy. You don't You don't bring a corner blitz from the field with a boundary safety coming too. Like nobody does that. Nobody does that. They were just playing it like, you know what? On this play, everybody go engage 8. Like,
hey, a team did run that before. The 72 Falcons did that. Yeah, sticky. It was called Sticky Sam.
But my whole point is either when they were coming out, one guy was a prospect and the other one was a generational talent. If you were looking at the film, they were very close to me. So either both of them are generational talents or both of them are projects. But it can't be one or the other because the tape is the tape. And it's been like that literally since they've been in the league. His first year, he was absolute dog shit. Oh, it's Urban Meyer's fault. Okay, cool. I'll give you a pass. That was a shit show. Like you said, had 8 good games. Then he looked crazy in that playoff game. Threw 4 picks because he didn't know how to read cover 6. Kept getting tricked by it. And then Michael Davis gets hurt at the end of the first half. They can't run cover 6 anymore because they don't have a corner who can beat up people the same way. So they just go to playing cover 3. And Doug Peterson's like, oh, cool. I know how to kill that. Hey, Trevor, just do this. And also hand the ball off to Travis Etienne. And cool, they win that game. And then we see him this year. I'm not saying that we should give up on Trevor Lawrence. What I am saying is the whole generational talent thing, y'all got to relax. Secondly, if y'all are going to my whole point is if you are going to hold out hope for Trevor Lawrence, then some of these other quarterbacks that people are just so ready to throw away, hold on just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because he ain't too far from Justin Fields. He's not.
Josh, how you feel about Trevor Lawrence, bro?
I think he's somewhat of a fraud. Like, you can't just say tools, and say a quarterback finna be this and that. Like, they have to put it all together first. Like, elite tools does not mean that you're going to be an elite quarterback necessarily. So, yeah, I think he's somewhat of a fraud. And I know people remember that time we said that CJ Stroud was going to surpass Trevor Lawrence this season. But we got guys like Donnie in the comment section calling us idiots. And look what happened. Look what happened. Exactly. Infatuated with tools, and now look, the guys throwing boneheaded throws, overthrows after overthrows. Like, I get that there's a lot of drops of the wide receivers, but like, he's not making the best decisions either. So,
Huncho. He's coming. He's coming. We only got to get started on that because we started.
Mr. Instagram captions.
Yeah.
Steven, how you feel about Trevor Lawrence, bro? You on mute, gang?
Muted.
I was high on Trevor Lawrence because of how he played the second half of last year, but I do agree he probably is a fraud. I know I've been seeing a lot of people say he's a bust, but I wouldn't say he's a bust yet.
He's not a bust.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
He just, I see, like, he's just not the generational talent that people were hyping him out to be, and he definitely is a fraud. And I don't know what the Jazz go do with him next year, because if he keep playing like this, bro, the Jazz might be cooked for the future. That's just my thoughts.
Donnie,
I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Young, how you?
I'll talk. Okay. There's nothing really I can say to defend him fully. Like, you can make up some stuff here and there. The wide receiver play wasn't ideal. He dealt with some bad injuries this year with his ankle and his shoulder. You can say all this. At the end of the day, this wasn't a good year for him. This is not the ideal year that me and a lot of other people saw coming. I still believe in the guy. I still think he can become one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I'm not giving up on him. I've seen way too much good to give up on him. But in terms of being that top 8, top 10 quarterback that I thought he was going to be this year and thought he was going into this season, he really did disappoint me. And I don't want to say he's a fraud, but I feel like I just don't think I can physically say it. But like, I can't, man. I can't physically say it.
I ain't gonna lie.
But no, like, this year was so disappointing for him, man. I'm hoping he can bounce back, but I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say that he won't, because I still think he can. I still think he's extremely talented, and he has a lot of things that will, improve upon. At least I would hope. But at the end of the day, no, he didn't. He didn't reach my expectations. He was never in that top tier group. Heck, I mean, when you look at some of the bottom tier quarterbacks like Hurts, Dak, Stroud, Kyle, Stafford, he's not better than any of them. I'm sorry, but he's not.
Young, how you feel? How you feel about Trevor Lawrence, bro? He a fraud?
Yeah, I mean, if the people that aren't here that were saying he could go top 5, that was we gotta talk about that too. Like me and Trent, we always said it. You know how hard it is to jump into that top 5. Like you have to go crazy. Like, and I never saw that. I thought he could get better. I thought he would be better this season, but to get top 5, no. So I mean, I don't think he's a fraud, but he regressed, and that's a problem. Again, I'm not giving up on him. I'm not giving up on Fields. I think a change of scenery for Fields could do him better. I think Trevor, they just have to play to his strengths. He's not like the guy that can just drop back 50 times a game and make throws. That's not him. He has to be kind of RPO dependent. He rushes his throws. He's 6'6", so his mechanics have to be. You got to beat him over his head all the time about it. But if you want to call him a fraud, I get it. But I wouldn't call him just fraudulent. Period. I just think he's not living up to his profile coming out of college. That's it.
PSP.
Trevor Lawrence overrated.
Cook.
Oh man, that hurts to hear.
He's overrated.
Oh, it hurts to hear, man.
I've
He's not
defended
better than
Trevor
Kirk.
Lawrence. Yes, he's overrated because coming out of college, who was the quarterback he was often compared to coming out? Andrew Luck. And with Trevor Lawrence, in 3 years, not going to say that his career is not going to be promising, but at this point, he's like the fancy car that can't do shit. It can't run, can't drive, can't do nothing. He's the fancy car that can't do shit. And when I look at what I see, and this is going to be concerning for Jacksonville because CJ ain't going nowhere. You look at Tennessee, what are they going to do with Will Levis? And then Indy, assuming if Anthony Richardson comes back, this is not going to be an easy division for the Jaguars anymore. It's no longer the Jaguars, the favorites. I mean, you got Houston, you got Tennessee, you got Indy in the way. And when I look at Trevor Lawrence at this point, I just got to be honest with you. I defended him early in his career because of Urban Meyer and the mess that Urban Meyer caused. And Doug Peterson was a rejuvenation last year. And I thought Lawrence was going to take a next step up after that impressive playoff victory against the Chargers. But bro has declined. And he's on fraud alert. So, yeah, he's overrated at this point until I see anything different.
Champ.
What have I been saying all year? What have I been saying all year?
This makes me so sad.
What have I been saying all year, PSP?
People love him because of his size. He's 6'5",
People
6'6".
fall in love with what he looked like rather than what he is. It's kind of like movie stars falling in love with J-Lo. So I'm just going to be real. So because of his height, because of his rocket arm, people fall in love with him and they want him to be the next generational quarterback. When in fact, he's more closer to a game manager and Scott Mitchell than he is that. So let's not jump the gun on any of this. So here's the thing. And when you think about that collapse that they had, have we seen a collapse like that more recent than the Denver Broncos with Jay Cutler?
Oh, I've seen it collapse.
I mean, I'm talking about a collapse like that. You are in first place for the number one seed.
Yeah,
The Dolphins.
they next.
The Dolphins did it this year, Champ.
No.
We did it this year.
It didn't. No. Didn't even make the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You had the division lead and the number one seed. You was tied with the number one seed with the Baltimore Ravens. You didn't even make the playoffs.
21 Cardinals.
Wow. I mean, you just can't collapse much worse than it. And the sad thing about it, you only had to win one game. One game and you're in the playoffs. You can't win one game. Like I said, the worst collapse since Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos. They only had to win one stinking game, and they was in the playoff. And you could have won, and you could have won your division. So I mean, are you on fraud alert at this point? Yes, you are. You have, a mediocre first season. We give you a pass. I think everybody would agree. Urban Meyer was a fuck chop anyway. So we can all agree on that. Second year, you make the playoffs. Everybody has these high hopes. This is the generational talent that we was talking about when he beat Alabama, when he was at Clemson. This is the generational talent that we was talking about. Okay, now you coming out here because year 3 people are starting to figure you out at a certain point. Year 3 people are starting to figure you out. People are starting to get to know your tendencies, your hot spots, how you throwing, if you could throw through your left, if you could throw to your right, if you were weak throwing across the middle, all that. By year 3, you're pretty much figured out. So what do you do after that in order to remedy that? And I'm going to just be honest with you. Hey, considering that Shane Steichen took Gardner Minshew almost to the playoffs, he was one catch away from the playoffs. Hey, you could come back next year and you could very well be the 4th best quarterback in this division. Look what we've seen it before.
Cleveland. No, he's not worse than Will Levis.
No,
he could be the 3rd best quarterback though. He could be the 3rd.
The thing is with that team in turmoil like it was this year, how do we know how good Will Levis is? He only played half a season. Now, granted, I'm gonna just be honest with you, a little bit of SEC bias, but guess what? We don't know how good he really is at this point. And another thing we don't know if the Tennessee Titans are going to draft a quarterback at number 4.
They're probably not.
So you could very well come back next year and be the 4th best quarterback in this division. So you just never know. But you are on fraud watch because if you don't do it in your 4th year, I don't see your contract getting renewed. And you're gonna be so far back on the bench they got to shoot your Gatorade. So I mean, it's about it.
And it's interesting, Trent, because they got to make a decision because after 3 years,
they're picking it up.
Contract extension.
They're picking it up. No, they're picking it up. As much as we slander T-Law, he still makes.
If the Dolphins are picking up Tua's, the Jags
they're not picking up Tua's. They're not picking up Tua's.
Well,
Speaking of collapses, I know there's 3 things guaranteed in life though: death, taxes, and the Bills own the damn Dolphins. That's what
Josh Allen owns the Dolphins.
He's another quarterback on fraud alert. Keep telling y'all.
Fraud alert.
Well, it ain't no fraud alert. The brother is a fraud.
He's a fraud.
He is a fraud. And I'm just saying though, like we keep telling y'all who about Tua. When you get pressure to him, he just it's another Michael Penix situation. You get pressure to bro, make him fluster, you make him go off script. He look like Jared Goff minus 500. I'm just saying. But now I'm gonna start with you because of course you the Dolphins fan. Should Tua still be our quarterback next year?
If we can get somebody else, yeah. I mean, I want another quarterback because I see the ceiling. I know we can only go so far with Tua. And before we get in a situation like the Giants, potentially, if the Bears want to keep Fields, I want to get out of that situation before we pay him $35, $40, $45 million. Then we got to start. We won't be able to pay Holland. We won't be able to pay Jalen Phillips. Like, that's the issues you run with paying your quarterback. So I would rather just start fresh, go get another higher upside guy and try to make it work. I'm all big about tools and traits. I'd rather swing for the fences than play it safe and limit your ceiling as what you. I think it is rare for you to build a perfect team like San Fran where you can have a game manager, average kind of quarterback and win. That or even a Philly. Like, I think that's impossible to build. Only one team can do that. It's too hard to.
Did he freeze or am I bugging?
No, he
froze.
Yo. He probably about to jump back like in 2 seconds. But I'll start with you, Josh. You think Tua's a fraud and you think the Dolphins should keep him by next year?
Tua been a fraud. Like everybody been knew this. Like it's nothing new. And like I don't understand why people took so long to realize this. Like when he's under pressure, obviously he's gonna struggle. And like how the Dolphins offense is structured, they get the ball out really fast. So like we haven't been able to like seen that weakness. And for next year, there's not really that many options for the Dolphins. So I think they should just keep him for the time being. So, yeah.
Hey, early. He like 17
No
too,
way.
bro. Swear to God, on God, he like 17.
Hey, Josh, hit it for me one time. It is your destiny. Just say it one time. I'll leave you alone, bro. Just one time, man. I promise I'll never ask you.
Wait, Josh, say Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, I am.
That nigga was totally
Y'all violating.
Not
Y'all
violating, crazy,
violating.
but Tiggy.
Come on.
Y'all being right now. Come on.
Yo, Tua fraud? Been a fraud?
Was it him or Purdy that said he's closer to
No,
Jimmy G than-
you said Tua was closer to Jimmy G than what we think.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
Theo said that too.
I said that. I've been saying that. Listen, was I really low on Tua two seasons ago? Like, he's not the bottom 5 quarterback that I thought he was, just because everything I saw on tape was just really, really bad. Then Mike McDaniel fixes him like Dayball fixes quarterbacks. But the thing is we see what his ceiling is. And the one comparison I do want to make to Jared Goff is you take him in an environment. This is why I think the Chiefs game is going to be so bad. You're going to put him outdoors in 0-degree weather, and you're going to have to see what he can do. Because like Jared Goff, you take him out of a dome or a warm environment, dude does not look good, and the stats reflect that. Like, he throws picks more, and I don't think this year is the only time that we saw the Dolphins had an opportunity with the last drive of the game, and he forced a throw that his arm physically cannot make. Like, it is a running joke that we make fun of his arm, but it's an actual issue that he cannot fit windows that these upper echelon quarterbacks that some people look at the stats and try to put him into, he cannot make them. It's just not physically possible for him. He's a good quarterback. He can get you, obviously, to where the Dolphins are now. But if you're going against Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow when healthy, Justin Herbert, if he ever gets off the Chargers or they break the curse that they got, he's going to be an uphill battle. You're more likely to win games with the situation around him than because of Tua.
Yep. All right, Steven, how you feel about Tua, bro?
Listen, I was on the Tua bandwagon. I thought when he started off the season, I thought he was just going to be like playing like a top 5 quarterback. I was completely dead wrong. That nigga's a freaking fraud. If I'm Miami, I'm releasing his ass tonight, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, the way he played against the Bills was just like, god damn, nigga. Like it's just horrible. Like, Tua is just like, he's just not like that. And I should have saw the sidelines at Alabama, because like at Alabama, he wasn't asked to do a whole lot, and it's showing now. Like in Miami, like I feel like they're asking him to do a lot, but at the same time, he's not, bro. Like, Tua is just a mid-ass quarterback, bro. Like, you could maybe win a couple games with him, but like Tegan said, bro, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with him. I don't even think you can win a playoff game with him. I'm gonna keep it a bean. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be toying with the Miami Dolphins. I'm telling you this right now, bro. Like, Tua is
Hopefully, if the wide receivers catch the ball.
I was about to say that's holy.
Because
oh yeah,
hey, it's already cold outside.
They're gonna win because of that defense, but we could dive into the playoffs.
Hey, it's already cold outside. Let's hope they can catch it.
It's gonna be 0 degrees. That just came
Donnie?
out. It's gonna be 0
Donnie, how you
degrees.
feel about Tua, bro?
Oh, my God.
I have been saying for a long time, Tua is very bad when he is under pressure. And that is exactly why he will never, ever, ever be better than Justin Herbert. It was a mistake that they took him over Herbert. And listen, a lot of people at the time probably, they probably said Tua was better. Me and myself included, because I let the media blind me to the fact that, Justin Herbert's just a dude with a big arm, and that's it. And I was blinded by that.
Social media quarterback.
I was blinded by that. Social media quarterback. I was blinded. Well, I wasn't blinded by that, but I was blinded by, I was blinded by, the pre-draft process. And then you go back and you watch him and you're like, damn, what was I thinking? And I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what else more I can say. They all covered it pretty well. Like, Tua's just a guy, man. He's not a special guy. He's just a guy.
Yeah, what's these say? He a jag.
Donnie, that reminds me of Michael Penix with the whole pressure thing.
Chad, we gonna talk about him. We gonna talk about him.
They're the same quarterback.
To be honest, that's a lot of
Can we
quarterbacks. That really is how a lot of quarterbacks are. They under pressure, they don't play well. They don't perform well. That's why the great ones that can perform under pressure are great. That's what makes Josh Allen great. That's what makes Justin Herbert great in sport. That's what makes Patrick Mahomes great. Like all these quarterbacks that do it, that's why they do it. Aaron Rodgers when he's healthy, Lamar, like that's really the difference outside of being able to create off script. But that in turn, when you get pressure, it turns to off script kind of football. Like it works hand in hand.
I was just about to say, wait, I need to say this because when we talk about when we sit there and analyze quarterbacks, we pick them apart and we're like, yeah, we need guys that throw on time and they can go through their reads and all that stuff. That stuff's good. Yeah. At the end of the day, what separates guys like Tua and guys like Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Herbert, it's the secondary reaction plays. It's okay, cool. Like this, like first read ain't there, second read ain't there. My left tackle just got beat. Now I'm gonna have to move around and make a play. I have to create something out of nothing. He can't do that.
Nope.
Like he hasn't been.
It's what Cam said.
He hasn't
Exactly.
It's what like people misinterpreted what Cam said.
But Tegan, I was just having that argument today. Like Peyton Manning falls under the category of game manager, but he is a elite level
one of
game
the greatest.
manager.
One of the greatest
and
game
Tom
managers
Brady
of
is
all
a
time.
game manager. What Cam is saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's just you have to have it perfect.
The difference between guys like Brady and Manning and a guy like Tua is those guys were so adept up here that they could walk up and be like, you know what, you're right. I don't have the strongest arm in the league, but I know exactly what you're running. I know all of y'all's tendencies and how y'all play, all of your techniques. So I'm literally calling out everybody's route at the line because I know it don't matter what you check into, I got to answer for it.
Yep.
And
that's why they're great. That's what made them the elite.
And the thing with Tua is right now they are calling it and hauling it. Like it is, you are walking up there, you got two plays. Oh, okay, cool. That's not the look we want. Kill, kill, kill. And that's the extent of what he's doing right now.
A really big issue of that Shanahan tree, like with Kyle Shanahan, they want control of the offense. That's one of the things that kind of broke McVay away when he was like, I can't keep trying to make all these checks because Goff can't do it. Let me get a quarterback, Stafford, who can do this. I can just straight do it. That's what you need. Like people don't understand that. Like that's what makes those good pocket quarterbacks great, and you get Brady's and Manning's elite. It's you can check to anything because you've seen it all.
All right, Champ, how you feel about Tua, bro?
First of all, we all know everybody owes Cam Newton an apology because the minute he came out, everybody was bashing it. Well, not us, I would say. You know, we're not mainstream press, but you know how that goes.
We will be.
Well, we will be. You know,
Eventually.
Yeah, Lord willing. But I will say this: how can you not? He's arguably outside of maybe Brock Purdy in one of the best situations in the National Football League. Am I right? I mean, you got the fastest receiver. You got the most dangerous receiver, arguably, since Randy Moss. You got a great second receiver. You got a hell of a running game, the two-back system at that. And another thing, I don't understand why doesn't Mike McDaniel run the ball more. It seems like sometimes they'll be just going. And I've said this weeks and weeks behind. They'll just be going. They'll be just gashing them. And then all of a sudden he wants to pass. Hey, where I come from, do it till they stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at what Josh Allen did. I think it was a week. They was coming off that bad. They was at 6-6. James Cook from UGA came out there and just gashed Dallas for over 200 yards. I mean, it doesn't matter. Hey, like Jimmy Johnson said, don't be pretty, be good. Don't be pretty, be good. So, hey, run that ball. And secondly, I'm going to give it one more year. Number one, to see how durable you're going to be. I'm not giving $200-300 million to a quarterback that's not durable. I don't need another guy that's going to be on the injured list more than he's on the field. That's number one. So I'm gonna give you one more year because thus far, this is the only year he's been healthy. Am I right or wrong? This is the only year he's been fully healthy. So I need to see it from you. And the sad thing about that, he's a pocket quarterback. He's not out there running like Josh Allen or Lamar or guys like that. He's not running like that. And you're still not that durable.
He the Michael Penix of NFL.
So I mean,
that's what he is.
But
that's way worse.
Just flip some attributes, and that's where you get.
Jalen, all them guys.
Piggybacking on that, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the run and shoot offense would look like what it looked like they was playing last night. They played the entire season. I think that just caught up with them, running the run and shoot. Because hey, in order to succeed with the run and shoot, you always got to be aggressive with it. You can't just sit on the ball. But I digress. But with Tua, you got one more year to show that you can be, number one, durable and be available. Number two, that you can succeed with all these weapons. Because how can you not succeed? I mean, Brock Purdy was in the MVP conversation earlier this year. I mean, and not only that, you're in a similar situation. In fact, y'all are running the same offense. It's fair to call them San Francisco South, right? So, hey, you are arguably in the best situation that you could ever be in. You have not produced those wild numbers that we expected you to produce. You got one more year to prove it. Hey, 2025 is not a quarterback rich draft. So, hey, you can look at a project like a Cameron Ward in the 4th round this year and see if you can take him.
All right, PSP.
Damn, Young and Champ stealing my material, man. I feel like Cat Williams right now exposing everybody. But my thing with Tua, I always loved Tua. My only concern with him coming out of college was primarily durability. I knew he never had the strongest arm in the world, but I thought it was just okay. Tua is a good quarterback. Would I would rank him top 12, top 13, top 14, somewhere along those lines. Duke can't stay healthy. So, yeah, I agree with Champ. You got to stick with him for one more year just to see if he could stay healthy. But history tells me I can't trust him long-term going forward, especially if you're thinking about investing him with that type of money. So the answer is no in that regard. Cam Newton should be owed a huge apology. Not an apology, a huge apology. Unfortunately, I'm afraid he won't get it. And again, people just continuously disrespect Cam because the personality, the outfits, but let's not forget Cam Newton is a former number 1 overall pick. Cam Newton is a former league MVP. Cam Newton took his team to the Super Bowl in which his best weapon was Greg Olsen. Okay, Calvin Benjamin, the wide receiver that year, he was out with the injury. And plus, Booger McFarland said he won Popeye's biscuit away. So my thing is with Tua, with what Cam said, everything he said was true. About Brock Purdy, about Tua, about Jared Goff. I didn't necessarily agree that much about Dak Prescott. If you want to talk about Dak Prescott early in his career, I totally understand because when Zeke was serving that 6-game suspension, how good was Dak? Not so much. So I just think with Tua at this point, I'm unsure. But not only Cam Newton should be owed an apology, Brian Flores, because according to the reports, he wanted Herbert. Dolphins, for whatever reason, they decided to go with Tua. So I think not just Cam, Brian Flores should be also owed an apology as well. But
thanks.
Hey, y'all ever notice when a coach or organization come out and they say they should have taken this guy? Y'all ever notice that about 1 or 2 years down the line, that person who they end up taking is gone?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But now, the last fraud of the day, man, oh man, goddamn. Come on, bro. I'm fucking eating and shit. Me and PSP was at the game. It's just crazy how
cold as hell. Don't go to Jersey around that type of weather, yo. I digress.
You know, it's crazy how AJ Brown go down, and you looking like in a Lamar Jackson situation when you have a good tight end, just solid pieces around you, and you look that ass. I'm just saying. Nah, I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
did it just now start? We brought up earlier this year. I think it was on your show that he was leading the league in interceptions. It just so happened to be winning at that point.
I'm
You
just
mentioned
saying.
it numerous times, champ.
Yeah, I think I said that numerous times. He's been
And you know what's
struggling this
crazy though?
entire year.
People always love talking about contracts, but these other quarterbacks. Didn't Jalen Hurts not just get paid almost like $250 million?
He did.
Yeah, he
was
was.
55.
Yeah, he was in essence and
That
everything.
don't move me at all.
That don't look like $250 million to me.
No,
I don't know if Jalen Hurts is looking like a top 10 quarterback.
No,
I don't know.
look,
I don't know.
He was never.
I don't get it twisted. Don't
He
get
was
it
never
twisted.
a King quarterback.
Ryan Johnson gotta go. There's some bad, terrible play calling. You throwing screens to Kenneth Gainwell on 3rd and 20. Gotta go. But he's also been playing bad too. And we wouldn't be giving these same outs if these other quarterbacks though. I'm just saying. So I'll start with you, Tegan. Is Jalen Hurts a fraud?
Tegan's muted.
You on mute too.
I was just looking at something just because I wanted to see. 9 of his 15 picks have been in away games, and I know we're talking about Jalen Hurts, but we gonna see something about him on Tampa Bay.
Tampa, how you doing?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But Hurts, man, I was high on him. Like,
Yeah, you had Hurts over Lamar, Tegan.
Yeah. And I got blinded by that Super Bowl performance. I can't lie, because he was doing things that he wasn't doing even the season before, and he had an MVP season. And I gotta give credit to Shane Steichen, because clearly, I mean, that man is incredible for what he's been able to do. I'm gonna call him a fraud just because I gotta stay consistent, but I really can't understate how bad. Like, that offense, Trey will get a kick out of this. That offense genuinely reminds me of Florida State with how stiff it is.
Yeah.
Like the NFL version. Like, it is I'm not just using a phrase. I'm not using a phrase. I'm not just saying stiff to say stiff. It's a stiff offense. Like, no one's moving.
Every one of their passing concepts is the bones of 4 verticals. Everything starts, every one of their routes, if it's not slant or the occasional like screen, all of the routes have like 10-yard stems to it. Like, hey, buddy, can we get some levels? Like,
I also think they're misutilizing Devonta Smith, because I went back and I was just,
Free Smitty, like I said.
well, I go back to what Sarkisian put Smitty through, and if you go watch his Heisman season, I remember vividly, it was a news story for the national title that they just had him moving all the time. He was always in motion. He was always in a jet sweep motion, going behind the quarterback, moving, just adjusting. And he had probably, like, statistically one of the greatest, if not the greatest, college football season. I'm not trying to compare NFL to college, but I think you're starting to misutilize Smitty, because every play I see him do, it's just Jalen Hurts. Oh, he's got to be down there somewhere. Same thing with A.J. Brown. He got to be down there somewhere. And I think teams have adjusted to it because it's a high school offense.
Yep. Cam?
Like I said earlier, I was bringing this up early in the year, but they just so happen to be winning. Hey, there's an old saying, winning cures all. When you're losing, that's when the knives come out. And right now, the knives are out at this point. They're looking similar to that Pittsburgh Steelers team that we saw on Ben Roethlisberger's last hurrah. But I digress. Hey, they're definitely missing Shane Steichen this year. That's one thing. They are definitely missing him and those coordinators from last year. I think that left a huge hole, a huge void in that offense and the defensive side. You can't sugarcoat it. I think they need to bring in a Byron Leftwich. I will continuously beat the drum for Byron Leftwich. They need to bring in someone that's going to maximize Jalen Hurts' ability at this point, because some of the throws, and to kind of get him under control and reel him in like Brian Daboll used to do with Josh Allen. Because if you keep throwing these interceptions like this, and especially in the NFC East, you're gonna end up between a rock and a hard place real fast. So
Young.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this is what Jalen Hurts has been since Oklahoma. He's not a drop back quarterback and just throw the ball. That championship game fooled a lot of people because he was dropping back and making some great throws. But what got him to that point? It was a lot of RPO, a lot of quarterback run. That's what their offense was built on. That's what Shane Steichen. That's why he went and drafted Anthony Richardson. He wanted Jalen Hurts supersized with a lot more arm strength, and he got it. And then sadly, he just got hurt. But I mean, even look what he did with Gardner Minshew. Like that, I just think we have to understand what Jalen Hurts really is. He's not a super talented thrower of the ball. What makes him great is when he's involved in the run game, all the RPO, all the motion that Steichen has. Brian Johnson doesn't do it. You talk to it, Trey. It's a lot of everything's based off of 4 vert. Hurts isn't a quarterback that can drive the ball in different coverages in these kind of over the middle of the field. A lot of his throws are slants or they're outside the numbers because he can't make these throws across the middle. So I think he's not, again, I don't think he's a fraud because he has shown glimpses. I don't know if he's hurt, but they have to get him involved back in the run game and just go RPO based. That's what they need to do. Or otherwise, they're going to be stuck in these same situations because he's not a drop back passer. That's just not what his game is.
Steven?
I don't think Jalen Hurts is a fraud. I think this is more of a Nick Sirianni issue. I mean, he's been a fraud, to be honest, but I think the offense just has no type of rhythm. And, like, they're not doing what they did last year. Like Young said, they're, like, forcing him to be a pocket passer, and that's just not his game, bro. That's just not what he does. And I just think Nick is just misusing Jalen. I don't think he's a fraud. I still think he's a top 10 quarterback, definitely on the bottom end, but I don't think he's a fraud. I think this is just all on Nick, and his ass should have already been fired, to be honest, in my opinion.
Jeez.
Donnie?
I mean, yeah, I agree with Steven. I already said last podcast that he should have been fired. Listen, Hurts was getting overrated after that Super Bowl, in my opinion. Like, there were people out here trying to put him in the same tier as Mahomes, as Allen, as Burrow, as Lamar. He was never he was never in that conversation. He was always, in my opinion, in the Dak, in the Trevor, in the Kyler, like the next tier after those big guys. That's what I always thought. And I think this year he still is, and I'm glad people are now starting to realize that because people always get caught up in the moment. But is he on fraud watch? Not in my opinion, just because my thoughts on him haven't changed at all. Like, not in the slightest. I still think he's a good quarterback. He's just not one of the top ones. Like, I've said that ever since he was having his MVP season. I said, I don't think he's as good as Lamar. I don't think he's as good as Burrow, Allen, or Herbert, or Mahomes. I don't think he's as good as those guys. And I think this year kind of showed that.
Josh?
Yeah, I really agree with Donnie's point. Like, I never viewed Jalen Hurts as like a top 5 quarterback. He was in those conversations for whatever reason. I completely disagreed with that. Like, always had him in like the 8 range. And like this year when you're watching him, like he's making much more turnover-worthy plays. Like he's allowing more pressure to himself despite the Eagles having the best offensive line in football. Like just not making the best decisions. And like he looks like a Shane Steichen reliant quarterback. And that's not a good thing to see. And like you have also one of the best rosters in football. Like you have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, the best offensive line in football. Like there's no excuse for you, regardless of the play calling. So is he on fraud watch for me? Can't really say he is because, like, just like Donnie said, like I had relatively the same view I had him last year. So.
Ain't my phone.
House phone ringing.
That damn sure ain't my phone.
Come on. Who's got that OG 1977 back there?
Aaron.
Somebody done whipped out the cordless.
Hey, how you feel about Jalen Hurts, bro?
Okay, so I was higher on him coming into the year. Like I thought he had kind of taken that next step. I also didn't at the time when I was making this assessment about him. I'm not realizing how much Shane Steichen's scheme really mattered to them. Them as an offense is just, this is disgusting. If I'm being honest, like this is a waste of talent. Like you can't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. That's what they're doing as a whole. Like the way they're using Devonta, the way they're using AJ Brown sometimes, the way they're using Jalen Hurts, the fact that they don't run the ball consistently at all, despite having Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, and a great offensive line. Like, there are so many things that are wrong here functionally that just should not be. And as much as I want to put a lot of it on Jalen Hurts, because that's what we do with quarterbacks, you have a bad year. Okay, cool. It's the quarterback's fault at the end of the day because he's the one who's going to get all the money. But also at the same time, we have to acknowledge, like, Sirianni, sir, you looked at your landscape. You just were in a Super Bowl. You were a fumble away from winning that joint. And you thought you was going to slide by with Sean Desai and Brian Johnson and then panic during the middle of the year and said, no, Matt Patricia, hey, you need to start calling them plays.
That was crazy.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I just need to point out. I just need to point out something about Matt Patricia. Does anybody remember that when he was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, those were some of the worst Patriots defenses we had
Quite
seen
literally.
in years?
Hey, bro.
The fact that this man still be getting jobs is beyond me. But the fact that you panicked so much, Sirianni, that you decided during the middle of the season, no. This dude over here, he gonna fix it. He ain't never fixed nothing. He ain't fixed nothing in New England. He ain't fixed nothing in Detroit. Like, bro, he has a long track record of not fixing a damn thing. And you send him up there. And that's already compounded by the fact that you can't score consistently because everybody knows how to cover your offense. Because your offense is simple. There's no variety. It's
he's tripping. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Can I see that comment again? Can I see that comment again? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can make the same throw.
In the great words of ETE, my man,
Dude, you
JD
not
is on
watch
free base.
Dude, I don't know about you, but when I watched that Dolphins game, Josh Allen was the best football player on that field the entire game.
That's a
He
fact.
was the best
That
player
is
on
a
the
fact.
field the whole game. I don't care about the turnovers. He was still amazing. Like, yeah, he had some mind-boggling turnovers, but dude, he was the best player on the field.
To our point earlier, Donnie, that's the difference between guys who change the game
Yes,
and
yes,
guys who are just
yes,
game managers.
yes.
As much as we malign Josh Allen for the boneheaded picks, like the one that he made where he's running.
That was crazy.
Just throw that bitch up, and Gabe Davis trips over his own feet, and it turns into a pick. I was like, bro, what are you doing? But also,
The fact that he can make that throw.
And then you see that sideline throw he had. And I mean, like,
the fact that he can make that throw probably was going to be a touchdown if homeboy don't trip over his own 2 damn feet. And 2, the fact that you could erase that by just being like, oh, cool, it's the end of the game and it's 3rd and 15. Hey, guess what? It's time to go be a human monster truck, boy. It's grave digger time. I'm just
Bro, they were scared to tackle him.
He's a modern.
They were scared. The Dolphins players were scared to tackle him.
People, and you said it well. Like, it's the fact that he can actually do it at all. That's what makes him so special. Like,
He's a modern Favre.
Like, it's
Like just a modernized.
dude. He's more talented than Favre, in my opinion. Like,
He better.
more physically gifted than Favre. Absolutely, way more. Like, he's one of the most physically gifted football players we've ever seen.
It depends on what Favre you giving me. You giving me
And
Mike Holmgren
the fact that he
Favre. Mark
No,
Holmgren Favre.
that's the best.
The fact that he
Yeah.
stayed
I
healthy. The fact that he has stayed healthy for us. I'm knocking on wood as I do that. The fact that he stayed healthy with the damage that you get, like he
297 consecutive games Brett Favre started. That's like the equivalency of 16 full seasons.
Man,
Yeah,
this man
but
just
we're-
went from Fields makes as good as throws as Allen. Then he says Allen's not that great. Does that mean Fields isn't that great?
Folks need to stay.
What we got next, Trent?
I thought we stopped doing free base back in the 90s. So,
So you asked me something, Trent?
Yeah, how you feel about Jalen Hurts?
Listen, all bias aside, cause
Am I bugging?
Is he
You
like-
could have.
Every time we got to answer something, bro.
can y'all still hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
there-
Okay. I thought it was me, but my fault. But I still believe in Hurst. I still think he's top 10. Trent, we were at that game. I have no idea why the Eagles refuse to run the football. I mean, Gainwell was running the ball really well, effectively. Hurts was making bad decisions, even on the run and shit. I just think without the coach and without the OC, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and then when you look at Nick Sirianni, he's a fraud as well too. Let's just be clear. He's a fraud as well. I think he's got to be held to the hot seat. To Trey's point about Matt Patricia, it does help when you are with Belichick. So look at Josh McDaniels. Dude had no business being a head coach for the Raiders, and we see how that turned out. But when I look at Jalen Hurts, it's a disappointing season, but at the same time, I expected it though. Super Bowl hangover. They won the division last year. I had Dallas winning this season because when is it that a team in that division win it back-to-back years? You got to go back to the Eagles, in the early 2000s? Since that time, it hasn't been replicated. And the Eagles, they have been terrible. Despite their record, they have been terrible. They almost lost that game against the Giants when they were at home. And then you lost against the Cardinals, and then you lost against teams in which you should have easily beat. And I told you this, Trent. I think Tampa going to win this one. I truly believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could actually beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Not just because it's at home, but because no expectations. The Eagles are the favorites to win this one. And if the Eagles, if they lose... And I don't know if y'all saw Jalen Hurts' finger injury, but it looks pretty bad. So if the Eagles can't get their shit together, and if the Bucs win this one, best believe there's going to be a ton of criticism for Jalen Hurts, as well as other quarterbacks that we have a lot of expectations for coming into this season, particularly Lamar and Dak as well.
He already played bad against the Bucs once, and DeAndre Swift practically had to carry him to a win.
But I think it's going to be. But Tegan, I think it's going to be even worse.
I know.
It's going to be even worse because they're not going to have point.
Yeah.
Sirianni might get fired if they lose, and I truly believe
he's a mascot.
They've had no problem moving off of head coaches in the past. No problem whatsoever. They moved off Andy Reid without a second thought. Doug Peterson, he won us the Super Bowl.
They could get Vrabel.
Like they don't care if they will move off you so fast. I think there's a real chance
if they fire him, why not go get Vrabel? Vrabel would easily want that defensive talent to use.
Well, what I'll say is if he does get fired, if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm sprinting to that job.
Hey Trent, I gotta ask you this question. Short question, because Kenny keeps bugging in my head all the time. Do you think at this point you take CJ over Jalen?
Stroud?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I have Stroud top 5. I have Stroud top 5.
Oh, I can't go top 5. Not yet.
CJ, 3 years hurts.
Not top 5. No, not yet.
You have Stroud where?
I have him at 5.
Why?
He's top 5.
I think
you have him over Herbert?
Wait, okay. Name the 4. Name the 4.
I mean, I think the 4 is obvious. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and not in order. I'm just naming the 4. And then Lamar.
I'm taking Herbert over Stroud.
Wait, Tegan, to be clear, you have Stroud over Herbert?
Not clears, but I'm picking between the two. I'm taking Stroud.
I'm taking Herbert. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm taking
you taking Stroud over Aaron Rodgers?
Stroud. I don't like ranking Rodgers because I don't know what he is after this ACL.
Oh, you know who he is. You know who he is.
Do we? Okay.
Do we? I don't know.
I saw 4 plays of him, and I have no clue what he's like outside of Green Bay.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm just not ranking him. It's the same. It's the same thing with Watson. I didn't rank him for a while because I didn't know what he is, and now we see what he is. But
Jordan Love over Hurts is actually.
I'm taking Kyler Murray over Jalen.
Let me.
Yeah, I am too.
Can I just say real quick the one thing with Stroud that, to Trey's point, after really watching Herbert is, man, and it's one rep, one example, but Stroud's willing to take he does not play like a robot. The the dude that we saw in Ohio State is not the exact same player we're seeing right now.
No.
It's not. You want to say 1A, 1B, not like just in rankings, sure. But, man, I lean Stroud. I really do. The dude does not play like a robot. He's willing to make plays. And let's not try to compare situations, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I get it. The Chargers really do stink. But let's not act like the Texans were anything sweet. I lived in Houston. I'm born and raised there. That ownership stinks. And the fact that they just won their division, wins are not a QB stat. But if both them situations are like, I'm sorry, I don't think Herbert clears Stroud. And if you told me to pick between the two, I'm probably going Stroud.
I'd take Herbert. I think, I would take
because of the physical gifts and tools. But you can't go wrong with CJ. I've been trying to tell this, Trent and I. Remember, Trent, when we were on Brandon's podcast and we said CJ for Offensive Rookie of the Year? Houston, they loaded. D'Amico Ryans, that was a huge pickup for them, especially. They got Schultz. I mean, look at what Stroud did for Noah Brown, back-to-back 100-yard games. You look at what he's been doing with Nico Collins, by the way, from Michigan. Has been balling out this season. Unfortunately, damn shame that Tank Dell went out with the injury. Wish him a speedy recovery. I think, man, CJ Stroud, man, he's going to be in that discussion for the top 5 in the years to come and in the future because he just has it. And also, too, he's a better athlete than he's given credit for. Like, he can make throws off platform. Does he do it like Mahomes and them? No, I'm not saying that. But he's more underrated as an athlete and as an improviser that he's given credit for. But it's that confidence, it's that swag, it's that clutch gene. Champ will tell you before that national champ, that game against Georgia. Champ was like yelling and screaming and cussing at his room because he kept saying all the time, man, had it not been for that Marvin Harrison injury, correct me if I'm wrong, Champ.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for them, because they were beating the piss out of us. So, yeah, beating us for pissing.
Yo, but move on, bro. Speaking of half of a season, why are niggas gassing Jordan Love? Why are we gassing? Okay, well, hold on. How's that echo, bro? Oh, that was a crazy echo. Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's cool now.
Yeah, you got tears from the crib in the background, bro.
I don't know why. I don't know why we are gassing Jordan Love off of half a season.
I'm gassing him up.
I'm gassing him. He's top 15. I'm gassing him up, bro.
But it's the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. It's the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. First half of the season, you look mid to below average, and then you play good in the second half. Same thing with Jordan Love. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop you right there for a second because for the first 4 weeks of the season, or even 5 weeks, Jordan Love was actually really good.
Oh no! It was no for Jordan Love. It was like 2-3 games, and then he started playing like hot ass. And then
he started here, went
way down, and then went back up. My point.
So he was better for most of the season. Though.
Hey, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna just be honest. If I'm not mistaken, this is his first full season as the starting quarterback.
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay. No other quarterback in Green Bay history, not Bart Starr, not Brett Favre, not even as great as he was, not even the great Aaron Rodgers made the playoffs their very first year. Not even Don Majkowski made it their very first year as the starting quarterback. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, the year after Brett Favre left, went 6-10. And everybody was calling for the head of Aaron Rodgers, where I was anyway. Everybody was calling for the head of Aaron Rodgers, saying he'll never be as good as Brett Favre. Then 2010 came, then a whole lot of other stuff changed. But this is his very first year as a starter. Very first year. So it's safe to say he's going to make mistakes in his very, very first year. Very, very first year, some things you're going to get a pass on. And not to mention, I mean, hey, very first time, you're getting to learn the offense, you're getting to learn the receivers, you're trying to develop relationships on the field and make sure that you're right about certain decisions. Because sometimes when you're in the line of fire, you do not want to pull that trigger. And sometimes you pull the trigger when you're not supposed to. And I think he's trying to find a medium on that at this point. I think he could go in, hey, people are going to, if you think people are high on him now, what if he goes into Dallas where they just been killing people other than the Detroit Lions, I'll say, What if he goes in there and throw 5 touchdowns, gets that
Brian-
defense?
I ain't gonna lie, Dallas is putting belt to ass when they play.
So, I mean, you got to ask yourself these questions now.
About to beat
But like
this-
I said, he the first Green Bay quarterback for his first full season to ever do this. And
They
like
were
I
the
said,
youngest
people-
offense to make the playoffs.
and
too.
then and I think it's the same personnel they had last year where they didn't make the playoffs. So granted, it's by one game.
worse
It's a
injuries.
one game.
With
Granted,
worse
it's a
injuries.
one game difference. We
He had
can't
a
really
Trevor-
exaggerate.
Trevor-
But hey,
We had a Trevor Lawrence X season. That's just what it was. And I'm not gonna drag it. I'm not gonna overhype it because we gotta
Yeah,
let
that's
bro
it.
rock. That's
He-
all.
he-
I
he's
learned
playing pretty
my
well.
lesson. I'm not saying he top 8, but I'm standing on my take that I had.
I have
before the
him.
season that he'd be
I
top
made
15.
I made a QB ranking. I had him at 12, and I think I feel good about that.
Yeah, I think he's a top 15 quarterback. Like,
No, he's
Is he
top
better-
15.
hold on, 12,
Definitely. He has
12,
that
hold
arm
on, there's-
talent.
Is he
What's
better
up?
than Dak? Is he better than Dak?
No.
Is he better than
Dak
Kirk?
Prescott?
No.
No.
Is he better than Kirk? Yes.
Kirk
I'll
who?
take more Kirk.
Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins is him.
Now see, Donnie, that don't
Don't
make no
put
sense.
your head down
I'm
now.
gonna be honest. Donnie,
If
that
it,
doesn't
I wouldn't go that
makes,
far.
if it makes you guys feel any better, I have them like right next to each other on my list. Like
Where do you have that? What is? See, this.
I have
this
Dak-
is
I have Dak-
Now young and tight. Young and tight.
I have-
because
I
I
have
don't. What do
I have
y'all
Dak-
see like
I have Dak
that
in it.
Dak does that Kirk doesn't do? Like, just I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just want to know.
They the
I mean,
same.
I think-
They the
I think
same
Dak's-
dude.
I think Dak's arm is better. I think Dak, despite the ankle injury, is still a better athlete. Is better outside the pocket.
Everybody a better athlete than Kirk Cousins. That's not.
Yeah,
That's not much to brag about.
Okay. Then still, that
No,
just
what I'm
proves my
saying is
point.
that if you, this is the thing, bro. I've watched Jordan Love's all 22. Again, my point still stands. He had a Trevor Lawrence S season. He was up and down OD in the beginning, and then he had a great end for the year. But it doesn't like Dak. I still, even though I fuck with Kirk, Dak and Kirk are still super close. So I don't.
But if you had a choice,
As of right now, because I think Dak's improved, so I'll say Dak slightly.
Okay.
But I'm still like,
it's not
I
that
don't-
far off between the
not
two.
that exact. It's not at all. And we now saying
people
Jordan
forget
Love.
what Kirk was doing
Wait,
first part of the year.
Donnie, do you think there's a gap between Kyler and Jordan Love?
Yeah, but I also think there's a gap between Dak and Love.
I think there's a gap between Kyler and Dak.
I disagree. I think Dak's better than Kyler, though. I do think that.
So hold on. If you think,
I truly,
Hold on,
I
hold
don't, I
on.
really don't.
Dude,
Like,
this is
I don't,
dude,
wait,
you're
hold on. How do you have a
you're
gap?
talking
How do you have a
the
gap
number
between
one-
Dak and him? But
Don
not
is the
Kirk?
biggest color fan you'll ever meet.
It's on the number
Why do you
one.
think I
Kyler
asked
fan on the
Josh?
planet.
say that again, Donnie. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said you're talking to the number one Kyler fan on the planet. I think.
Not just he as well.
No, what happened?
Do y'all hear Donnie, or is am I tripping on my end?
No, he was lagging a little bit.
He's
I
lagging.
think he's lagging.
Are we good? Are we good? Are we good?
No, now we can hear
Sure,
you.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
No, all I was saying was I'm the biggest Kyler fan on the planet. I think Dak is better. I think Kyler's upside is better, and I think Kyler hasn't really shown like his full capability. He was really good for the last 3 games, but he hasn't fully shown that he's truly back. So until then, I'll say Dak is better.
Donnie, are you saying that because of how Kyler Murray has played in the second half during the first 3 seasons of his career?
Well, no. I think Kyler, when healthy, is a superstar quarterback. I just think, last season, as many excuses as there are, he himself wasn't that good. He made mistakes. He missed open reads. He couldn't hit stuff over the middle. And then this year he came back and he improved as it went on, as you would expect from a dude coming back from an ACL tear. But he still wasn't at that Kyler peak, like Kyler guy yet, Like he ended the year really well. He was good against Chicago, Philly, and Seattle, but he wasn't fully back yet.
I think we need to see more from Kyler in order for us to say he's better than Dak, but I can understand why Young would probably say Kyler over Dak because of the tremendous upside.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think if like peak Kyler Murray to me is better than a peak Dak Prescott.
Well, Pete
From what I've
Kyler
seen in their
Pete
career.
Kyler is like before he got hurt in that
Okay,
Pete
but
Kyler
Young,
is
let me ask you this question.
Pete
Young, let me
Kyler
ask
is
you this
like up there
question.
with Stroud. If we're talking like Pete Kyler, he's up there with Stroud.
Pete Kyler
Young, let me ask
I
you this
agree.
question.
I agree.
Young, let me ask you this question. Would you take a peak Kyler Murray over a peak Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
Okay.
I said it last year. I said if you were to put Kyler Murray in Philly, you could get the exact same production. Minus the touch
real quick, the people in
get the
chat,
same thing.
the people in chat
Heavy
asking,
RPO.
the people in chat asking about Pete Kyler. Go watch the first half of the season in 2021.
He was literally the leading MVP candidate.
He was literally
He
on
was.
pace. He was
He
literally
was.
on pace for over 5,000 total yards, 48 touchdowns.
Like,
And this is with bad coaching, bad offensive line, and a good receiving core, but it's not anything absurd. Like it was D-Hop and Christian Kirk, and then a washed AJ Green.
Had it not been for the Cardinals' downfall as well as the injuries that he had during that season, he would have run off winning the MVP.
Yeah, he would.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. He was going to win.
Last thing before we head out, about to get to these wild card predictions, get to these playoff predictions, this playoff season. So I'm just going to go down the room. Just give me the team name so we can just keep it pushing before we head out. Tegan, we're going to start with AFC. Well, actually, let me just ask this because we just lose on. Does anybody think the Steelers going to beat the Bills?
No.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
No, but you're going to have
No
to deal
TJ
with
Watt, they might
Jay
win
because
by
he's
3
going to try to make an argument
Yeah,
for
bye.
TJ.
Yeah,
No, TJ Watt, they're going to win by 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
No, they should win that one. They should win that
Okay,
one easily.
cool. We don't got to. Yeah, of course. Oh, man, of course you think that, of course. But Tegan, I'll start with you. Chiefs versus Dolphins. Who you got?
Give me Chiefs in a slugfest.
Donnie?
I agree. I think it's going to be a boring game. I think it's going to be way more defensive than people think. But give me the Chiefs.
Josh?
Give me Kansas City.
Young?
I think the Dolphins can win. Upset.
Steve?
I think the Chiefs are going to wipe the Dolphins in a blowout. Not going to lie.
PSP?
I think the game will be just as close as how they previously played in Germany, but I still got Kansas City.
All right. Tegan, Texas versus Browns. I'm going with Texans. I think they're going to get back. I'm going Texans.
Hey, this is an aura bet. Give me the Browns.
I knew you were going to say that.
But here's the thing. I need it like I need air to see Joe Flacco go back to Baltimore. I'm sorry. There's no logic behind this pick. I just need it. The scriptwriters cook.
Donnie?
I couldn't have said it any better, Tegan. Joe Flacco returning to Baltimore and not only going there, but possibly beating them. That is something that I think would be absolutely incredible. And I also just think the Browns are a better team. I think they have arguably the best defense in football. I think as long as Flacco doesn't turn over the ball too much, I think they'll be okay. Yeah, give me the Browns.
Josh?
I'm taking Houston running with Stroud.
Yes, sir. Young?
Yeah, I got the Browns too. I think the defense. I think them missing Tank is going to hurt them badly this game.
Steven?
I have Houston, but I could smell it. I think the Browns can maybe pull it off. But I still got the Houston. I still got Houston winning though. I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns wins though.
3 Browns, 2 Texans.
PSB?
I got the Browns. I don't see Nico going off like he did last week against the Colts. I think they're going to put pressure on CJ. Singletary ain't going to do much. And Joe Flacco, January Joe, come postseason time, even though he's been away from the NFL for a little bit, postseason time, Joe Flacco is just a different quarterback. So we can't discount that. So I'm going to go with Browns.
I bet. Let's go to this NFC. Cowboys versus Packers. I got Cowboys belt to ass, damn near by 4. I'm about to say 4 scores, 3 scores. I think they win. I think they can win by 21. So I got Cowboys. Who you got, Tegan?
Just a quick question. This is the wild card round, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Cowboys just gonna blow them out. Like I like Jordan Love. It's gonna be everyone on that team's first day of playoffs. Dallas. It ain't the divisional round. This is not the time for them to choke. That's next round.
Donnie?
Give me the Cowboys, but give me the Packers to cover.
Josh?
Cowboys.
Young?
Cowboys.
Steven?
I'm not going to upset here. I'm going to take the Packers. I ain't going to lie.
Interesting.
I don't trust Cowboys at all. They're just too much of a fraud team for me.
PSB?
This is the best chance for the Dallas Cowboys to at least get to an NFC Championship game. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They fail short of an NFC Championship game this season. Oh my God, there's going to be hell and criticism.
Facts.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith's gonna have a field day.
This next one,
Shannon Sharp too.
this next one, we want to talk about. We want to talk about Aura Lions versus Rams. I got Rams in the upset. Matthew Stafford coming back to
Tegan's
Detroit.
watering at the mouth.
Yeah, Tegan coming. What's the name? Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit, bro. And I've been saying the Lions are one and done. I'm gonna keep telling y'all till it happens. So they one and done. I'm going with the Rams. Tegan, who you got?
Man, I think the popular pick is a lot of people are going to go with the Rams, and I see why. I really do. I see the way that they win this, but I think this is going to be the best environment in the NFL. I got the Lions pulling it out, man. I think they get one win in. I want them to get their first win, even though Stafford. It's going to be a close game, probably the best game of the year or week.
Donnie.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it like this. There is one offense in this playoffs right now that you do not want to play. It's Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Willis, and Matthew Stafford. And if there's one defense in the whole playoffs, I want to play outside of
Oh,
Philly.
Donnie, you lagging like shit.
Hold on, are we good?
Yeah, you straight now. Go ahead.
Okay. No. I'm just gonna say there's one offense I don't want to play right now. It's the Rams. I don't want to play that offense, but that run game and that passing game. Outside of Philly, there's only outside of Philly. I want to play that Lions defense because that Lions secondary is bad. It is very, very bad. I think Stafford has a field day. I think the offense cooks that defense. I think Laporta getting hurt killed them. Give me the Rams.
All right. Josh.
Like I said earlier on in the season, like Jared Goff being quite literally the most play action reliant quarterback of all time is going to hurt them. And then you look at their secondary, nobody's going to hold up with Puka and Cooper Kupp, so give me the Rams.
Young.
Yeah, I think the Rams will win. I don't even think it's really going to be close, especially if Laporta doesn't play. I think they might win by 2 scores.
Steven.
I got Detroit here. I think just because like they're at home. I know that secondary is terrible, but I mean I think that offense can I think if Jared Goff is rolling, I think that offense could do some damage. So I'm gonna take Detroit here.
PSB.
Puka's going to go off. I believe Puka Nacua is going to have a big-time game. I believe Detroit's going to make one costly mistake, and it's going to cost them that game. So I got the Rams in this one.
All right, and the last one we head out, bro. Bucks Eagles. Tegan.
I'm going to go with the quarterback that's got aura. Give me Baker Mayfield to beat them at home. Jalen Hurts did not play good last time. I believe it was the Monday Night Football game. And you can't inside zone your way to a playoff win. So give me the Bucks to pull it off.
Donnie.
Who would have thought of all people, the Baker Mayfield-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be in the playoffs right now? I don't know about you, but not me. And why not keep it rolling? Give me Tampa.
Josh.
Jalen Hurts is a fraud. The Eagles' defense is fraudulent. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Young.
I think the Eagles are going to win. I think I don't see it with the Bucks. I know they're good. I just don't see it. So I think the Eagles win.
Steven.
I think the Eagles win by like just barely. I don't trust Baker. I've never been high on Baker anyway. I think he's just a fraud, and I don't. After beating the Panthers 9-0, I don't trust the Bucks at all. So I'm gonna take Philly in a nail biter.
PSB.
Me and Steven vehemently disagree on this one. I got Baker winning this one. I think this is going to be a big game for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has had playoff success. He did win that game against the Steelers. Baker Mayfield is going up against the Eagles secondary. If I'm not mistaken, according to Pro Football Reference, they're like 31st. Only the Washington Commanders have a worse passing defense than them. Mike Evans is going to show Trent he's a top 20 wide receiver, although Trent has been saying he's not top 20. I think this is going to be a game in which the Bucks are going to win this one, and I think Baker Mayfield is going to show why. He's not a franchise quarterback, but a competent quarterback at best.
How is Mike Evans gonna show me he top 20 going against a dog shit secondary? If anything,
you weren't impressed with him this season?
It's the same.
Not one bit.
No. No.
Oh my god.
Why is not a Hall of Famer?
I ain't say that. I think he's Hall of Famer. I think he's locked.
Tegan, I hate you.
Aura over logic. You're fried.
That's gonna do it, bro.
What have you done? What has Mike Evans done to you, man? Like
nothing, bro. Bro, I just hate that.
Prove him wrong every week. That's what he's done,
bro. The way people talk about Mike Evans, the way how people in college football talk about Tim Tebow. Stats. Like, god damn.
Oh, wow, isn't that crazy?
He's better than Tank. It's fine.
Trent, will you agree that he did to some extent bail out Johnny Manziel in Texas A&M?
Oh, Johnny Manziel was
Hold on.
Yeah, we know he did. Johnny Manziel wasn't good in college. He wasn't a good
chill, relax.
Trent, I ain't gonna lie. When you watch Johnny Manziel, it's just like, Mike Evans down there somewhere. So I'm gonna just shut it up. That's what he is, bro. He's down there somewhere, bro.
It's been like that, bro. Johnny
Manziel's aura, bro. It don't matter.
Hey, Manziel over Tebow, though, right?
Cook.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Tebow takes some hills, so I'd rather have Johnny Manziel.
Hey, PSP just angry about the last Cotton Bowl when we whooped their ass with Johnny Manziel.
No, I'm not mad at that at all. I like I said, I think this is going to be a game in which Baker Mayfield, again, no expectations. The Eagles are the favorites to win this one. No expectations for Tampa to win. I think Baker's going to actually play well, and I think Mike Evans is going to actually do something. Despite against the Eagles secondary.
I know it's so crazy. I didn't even realize this whole time for 2 hours. I had the VIP room background the whole time. That is ridiculous.
I was gonna say something, but I thought you did.
That is ridiculous, bro. I'm like, wait, why does that say VIP room? Wow.
You ain't gonna see it on the TikToks. It's
good way to end it.
No, yeah, facts. But I appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate everybody else tuning in. I think I got like 600 viewers. Make sure y'all like and subs, bro. Give me the 600, bro. We're on the road to 1K. Make sure y'all tap into the Golden Tate interview I just did like 30 minutes before we went live on this show. That shit was fire. Quick 30-minute, bro. Yeah, y'all was Tegan, Donnie. Y'all was disrespecting Golden Tate. He really saw that shit. I think it was disrespecting him crazy. Y'all was disrespecting him.
Who, me?
Yeah, y'all was disrespecting him.
I was fine for Golden Tate to be hired.
No,
that
you
was
wasn't.
Coach Mark. That was
Coach
Mark.
Wait, who did I disrespect?
The Golden Tate.
I did?
Yes. What did he say? What did they say exactly?
Nah, they just had him low.
I think Brandon Cooks was ahead of him all time.
Yeah, and y'all was crazy.
Okay, that I don't agree with.
But make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Tap in tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the national championship recap. We're gonna be doing the mock draft, so that shit gonna be fire. Make sure y'all tune in to that, bro. Like I said, make sure y'all like, sub, tune into all the VIP rooms because for some reason, it was not some reason. Like, of course, Flag gonna play gonna get the most views, but I need some more views on VIP room, bro. That's really where niggas be dropping gems with me and the money making Bama. Little Will Fork with me, bro. So make sure y'all tap into VIP, bro. And yeah, bro, we out. Peace.
Peace.